School is a very fascinating place. Everybody is telling you that school is very important. The focus largely in school turns towards your subjects, your marks, your examination. All right. तो तीन चीज़ों के बारे में बात करेंगे. ये चीज़ें मुझे याद है जब मैं स्कूल स्टूडेंट था. They were the most important things that I wish somebody had told me. School is a very fascinating place because you're studying with very bright students. There are supposedly very bright people here trying to teach you something. Everybody is telling you that school is very important because you learn the basics of what the world is about. You learn the basics of what will make a big career for you. You learn how to make friends. You learn the foundation of your own self. And all of those things are very, very important. Unfortunately, the focus largely in school turns towards your subjects, your marks, your examination, and you begin to believe that that is the most important thing out of school. Abhi हाल ही में class 12th के number निकले. I don't know, everyone is scoring about 90% nowadays. Something has gone awfully right or awfully wrong. I don't know how much you scored in your class 12th or not. I scored 83% in class 12th. And I know with 83%, I won't make it to any good college in this country. And most likely will feel that my life is completely over. This is after 83%. Let me put 83% in context. That means if I had 100 things to get right, I got 83 things right. And yet I feel like a failure. And the world will constantly tell me, "Ha bro, failure." Because somebody got 91%. And suddenly the one who got 91.4% is smarter than the one who got 91%. Because he or she scored more. So intuitively हमारे दिमाग में ये बैठ जाता है that marks are the only determinant of success. And you know what? To a large extent, you will not be wrong in believing that because the world around you also supports that notion. So somebody who's looking at you for a college admission will be like 91%, not good enough. There are 500,000 crore people who have got 92% and above. So we'll give the admissions to them. And you'll be like, okay, 91% not good enough. Then there will be your parents who will be, of course, थोड़ी और fight मार ली होती तो you would have got 92%. Look at Sharma ji का बेटा. He got that. Then you will have movies supporting the same thing. There will be a Three Idiots that will get released when nothing will happen to Rancho, but everyone else will, of course, go on, build lovely careers and so on and so forth. So there is this entire world that is built around us telling us that marks are extremely important, and the school's purpose is to make you score high marks. I am 44 years of age. So I may sound like very old and very grumpy and very boring. But what I have is one thing that you don't have, for no fault of yours: experience. And most people here around my age also have that same thing, experience. And experience is something which is very valuable because it doesn't tell you what is right or wrong. It simply tells you what have we seen in our life to kind of know what works and what doesn't work. So here are three things that I would love for you to learn from my experience. Not because it is the right experience, only because it is what I experienced, and I wish somebody in school would have told me these same things when I was going through the same phase that you are. Number one, when you joined the Vedic Summer School, like first day, go back 3 days, 4 days, you were amongst this group of people. How many of you know each other? कोई friends के साथ आया है क्या? How many of you know, not now, first day, how many of you knew each other? Because you came from, like, so very few. Most of you were new to this, right? So the four of you know each other? Or some of you know each other, right? So some of you knew each other, some of you knew each other. Most of you were completely new to each other. And what's fascinating is that you come from across the country, 9 states, very different experience, very different upbringing. You look differently from each other. You dress differently from each other. you speak differently from each other, you eat differently from each other, you have very different habits, very different passions, very different interests. And when you're surrounded by such different people, the first thing you want to do is to look for people who are like you. You suddenly want to look for people who are like you. कि मेरे स्टेट से कौन है, मेरे स्कूल से कौन है, मेरे जैसा कौन दिखता है, मेरे जैसा कौन बोलता है, who vibes similar, I feel like I can relate to this person. And what you will do is you'll take it to the other extreme. You'll look at this group and go back to the first day. You're not going to lie to me. You can lie to yourself as much as you want, but not to me. First day of Vedic in summer school, you were scanning the room. You're looking at all the new kids that you're surrounded by. इनके साथ अब एक हफ्ता बिताना होगा. And when you scanned the room, there were one or two faces you saw, and you were like, नहीं, इनके साथ hang out नहीं हो पाएगा. I can't relate to them. They were like, इनका कैसे हो गया इसमें? ये नहीं आ रहा है. How did they make it? You were judgmental. Judgmental to the point that you thought you have nothing to learn from them. They are so different from you that you have nothing to learn from that different person. There is no connection. There is nothing that is similar. So, you instantly dismissed it and you spent more and more time with people who were like you. You suddenly were part of a group where you felt you belonged. And I remember that has happened time and again in my experience as well. Shubhit and I, we come from the same business school, ISB. And I remember my first week at ISB, 330 people on one campus. And within the first week, everybody had formed groups. Engineers were hanging out with engineers, chartered accountant with chartered accountants, Delhi with Delhi, Bombay with Bombay, South Bombay with South Bombay. Because that's a different city, mind you. You will come to know when you become an adult. Musicians with musicians, lawyers with lawyers, dancers with dancers. Everybody wanted to form their own group. And मेरे दिमाग में, I was like, यार किसी ने fight मारकर 330 लोगों को, 330 very smart, sharp people from across the world planted on one single campus. And you're going to spend time with the 5 people who are like you. ये कहाँ की बुद्धि है? How is that smart? How is that intelligent? Because here's one thing that you don't realize you were all born into and is now going to be your reality for a really long time. When you open up social media every single day, and you do, when you open up Instagram or Snap or Discord, most of the apps that most people above 40 have no idea about, you don't see things that challenge your point of view. आप वो चीजें नहीं देख रहे हैं which is like, oh, life में ये भी होता है. Oh, दुनिया में ये भी होता है ना. You just see things that endorse your point of view, that convince you that what you know is the truth. And there are lies out there, a different section of the world who doesn't believe what you believe in, and all of them are wrong, and you are right. And that is the world that you live in, where every single minute that you spend on social media is convincing you that you belong to the right set of people and ideologies. So it becomes extremely important for you to spend time with people who are nothing like you, who are very different from you, who don't have the same ideologies as you do. They don't see the world the same way as you do. 11th class wale, 12th class wale, how many of you have science? Okay, and 11th, 12th, how many of you have humanities? Great. Wonderful. That's a good mix. Huh? Congratulations for making that happen. Very rarely do I have the same set of people. When we go to business schools, it's like a disaster. Engineers like 99 and एक बेचारा humanity शर्मा के हाथ खड़ा कर रहा होगा. feeling completely out of place. All of you in science, if you do take up science in your graduation as well, whether for engineering or for any other discipline, your entire training will be based on the fact कि दुनिया में हर एक चीज बिट है या बाइट है, जीरो है या वन है, ब्लैक है या वाइट है. Everything is either on or off. There are only two modes, because that is the science engineer's mindset, that the machine is either working or not working. There is no middle ground. There is no thi hai. There's nothing like that in machines. Machines are either working or not working. It's an absolute way of looking at the world. But all of those who are trained in humanities right now, the social sciences, your upbringing and training is completely opposite to that. There is no 0 and 1 in the world. There is no certainty. There is no right or wrong. Everything is a shade of gray. Everything is a continuum. There is no absolute truth in the world. Can you imagine how these two ideologies and approaches towards life are so different? Like एक इंसान जो बोल रहा होगा यार नहीं, इंसान या तो गलत होता है या सही होता है, and दूसरा बोल रहा है नहीं, इंसान सही भी हो सकता है, गलत भी हो सकता है, and both can coexist. And वो दोनों लोग अगर दोस्त बन गए, वो एक दूसरे का गला घोट देंगे. But that is precisely what you have to do. You have to spend time with people who are nothing like you, so that you understand what all the world has to offer. सबसे बड़ी करियर को लेके प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है? मुझे नहीं पता कि मुझे क्या करना है, क्योंकि क्या करूं? And if I ask you what are your options, and let's say you are in science, you want to do engineering, आपका दिमाग इतना बंद हो चुका है that your option in your head is mechanical, civil, chemical, electronical, computer science, and that's it. That is the entire identity of yours, of what the world has to offer to you. And you will be shocked if we really sat down to tell you what all can you do as somebody who wishes to pursue a career in science. And it has nothing to do with the discipline of engineering. It has all to do with what all you could do. But you will only get to know that if you spend time with people who are nothing like you. Nothing like you. So here is your goal when you go back home. जब आपका स्कूल शुरू होगा, you will for the rest of your academic year spend time with a new person every day. With a new person every day. Not to make friends, huh? Not to be like, nahi, jari, dosti, zindagi bhar ke liye banayenge. Nothing like that. Just get to know them. Just get to know how they think of things. And it will be very difficult क्योंकि अब मैं आपको section से बाहर जाने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ. मैं बोल रहा हूँ, forget your science section, forget your engineering section, forget your mechanical drawing वाला subject. Go beyond. Go to that humanities section जहाँ कोई नहीं जाता. Because you feel that that's not where you should belong. Go to a field that you have no idea about. And the same with humanities. Go to a world that you think you don't deserve to be, but you absolutely do. And you need to spend time with them because they will teach you something about the world that you don't. काश मुझे किसी ने ये बताया होता. मैं सिर्फ अपने ही दायरे में फंसा रहा. वो एक छोटी सी दुनिया थी जहाँ अरे सब साइंस कर रहे हैं, फिजिक्स. I was a physics student, a science student. My only ambition in life was to become a space scientist. Don't ask me what I'm doing right now and why. But space scientist बनना था, NASA जाना था, and that's the only thing that I worked towards. I actually went to the US to do my PhD, and then after 2 years I dropped out, came back to India. It's a whole new story someday else. But I was so contained in my small world of physics, that I knew nothing about the real world. Nothing. And the first time that I was exposed to it was when I went to business school, and I realized कि oh, sales जैसे भी कुछ होता है, marketing भी कुछ होती है, finance भी कुछ होता है, supply chain भी कुछ होता है, IT भी कुछ होता है, HR भी कुछ होता है. And these are real world things which are just as important as Einstein was and Marie Curie was. Because my only impression of the most important people in the world were scientists. बाकी सब लोग टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. साइंटिस्ट ही है जो दुनिया को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं. And this, I wish, was told to me at some point that no, there is a far bigger world, and the only way you get to recognize that is to spend time with people who are different from you. Because school will box you. They will place you into these sections and they'll tell you this is where you belong. Number 2, discipline. And this is something that Mohit and I were discussing with Mohit this year. Yeah. This is my favorite topic of all. A lot of people struggle with discipline, with motivation. हर रोज मुझे कोई ईमेल आती है. So, स्कूल के एग्जाम, नीट की तैयारी, जेई, can't get myself to study, I don't have the discipline, I don't have the motivation, I don't have this, I don't have that. I was like, I wish somebody told me what is the true definition of discipline. Here is what we think is the definition of discipline. Discipline का मतलब that हम अपना मन मार के कुछ ऐसा करते हैं जो हमें करना है क्योंकि वो जरूरी है. And it doesn't matter what you feel in that moment. What matters is that you do what you have to do. So, getting up early in the morning and going to the gym or working out is discipline. You hate doing that. But doing that is, bro, discipline. Eating right, discipline. Studying when your entire friend circle is partying or they're like, "Arey, tu kyun? No, just chill, bro." And you're like, no, karna hai. That's discipline. Everything that you don't want to do, but you have to do, is discipline. And that is the complete opposite of what discipline is. Discipline is not about you killing yourself to do something that you have to do. Discipline is actually something that you love doing, but you take the effort of finding how or what does it work for you. You go through the journey of figuring what works for you. And once you figure what works for you, do it every single day of your life because it works for you. You're not doing it because you hate doing it. You're doing it because it works for you. And if something works for you, trust me, you will never need motivation to do it because it's working for you. It is working for you. The problem is we don't know what works for us. क्योंकि हमें एक prescribed rule book, एक prescribed तरीका बता दिया है of doing the same thing. Examinations में नंबर कैसे लाते हैं? Last 10 साल के क्वेश्चन पेपर देख लो, आंसर याद कर लो, वो 3 घंटे का एग्जाम होगा, उसमें वो सारे आंसर उल्टी कर दो और शीट पे शीट मांगते रहो. एक्स्ट्रा शीट इज लाइक अ स्टेटस सिंबल. एक्स्ट्रा शीट मैम, एक्स्ट्रा शीट, एक्स्ट्रा शीट, एक्स्ट्रा शीट. And then you're actually struggling to put those answer sheets together. Like I remember in my school time, somebody was struggling to put the answer sheets together because there were no staplers around, right? Because staplers suddenly are this thing that nobody should ever have in life. So we had these threads that we had to pass and छेद करने पड़ते थे. कभी वो छेद फट जाता था तो फिर अलग से कुछ फाइट हो रही है. Like a different struggle of a student who's trying to get those answer sheets together. But that was a status symbol because someone has finished the exam and is now struggling to put the sheets together while somebody has not even finished the first 3 sheets that they got. I'm like, are they giving the same exam? Because I think I had done everything. And that's the status symbol. So suddenly you find filling in sheets, then coming out of the examination hall, discussing the answers right then and there, figuring out within 5 minutes how much you're scoring. Because the answer sheet is in front of your eyes now. Before any evaluator has even touched your answer sheet, you know exactly how much you're scoring and you also know what is your rank in the class. This is a, by the way, superpower that only Indian education system imparts. When I went to the US, I thought everyone is trained in the same thing, but clearly not. There is an entire world that is focused on learning, while we are focused on marks. So when I went to the US, I distinctly remember, I was like, ये सब लोग इतने hectic क्यों हो रहे हैं? Like, उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, that's fine, no? They're getting the marks. Like, how does it matter whether they understand what they've written or not? And I was like scribbling like there is no tomorrow, filling in sheets and sheets and sheets. Thankfully, वहाँ stapler मिल जाता था. So there was No problem. I was filling in sheets, stapling it, like throwing it as if I'm God's gift to mankind. And the professors were like, slow applause, bro. Like, killed it. Scoring full marks. I distinctly remember a professor of astrophysics, a very, very tough subject of astrophysics in there, giving full marks to me. And I could see कि उनके दिल में उस समय दर्द हो रही थी. Because he knew that I did not understand shit of what I had written. But he had no choice but to give me because it was just so perfect in how I had written it. So he had to be morally right. And he did say, you have written this better than any student I've ever taught in the last 27 years of teaching. But I wonder how much of it do you truly understand? And you don't ever want to hear that from a professor. You know, that's like a straight gunfire at your self-respect. Somebody's telling me, bro, लिख तो दिया सब कुछ, but तुझे घंटा नहीं समझ में आया. And I can make out because I'm experienced. And that is when I first figured that this may not be what I want to do in life. I digress. We are all trained very well to score and to score well. And we are given this playbook. So we don't know of anything else. तो हम वैसे ही पढ़ते हैं, वैसे ही एग्जाम देते हैं, वैसे ही नंबर आते हैं. And we have to force ourselves to live that life, not realizing whether it's working for us or not. And discipline is not that. Discipline is not about you feeling bad and terrible about doing what you're doing. Discipline is you feeling excited about the fact that you're doing something because it's working for you. And you want to now do it because it works for you. To the world, that will look like boring. To the world, it will look like boring AF. It will look like, oh my God, I don't want to live this life. I don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again. कितनी boring जिंदगी है, वो same चीज रोज खाता है, same चीज रोज पहनता है, same routine है, same चीज बार. That's so boring. But for you, you're doing it because it's working for you. So what I wish I was told, and I am going to share it with you, is spend your school years figuring what works for you. Not what you need to do to get more marks. What works for you? What form of studying works for you? What form of learning works for you? What form of making friends works for you? What form of working out and eating right and sleeping right works for you? What routine works for you? Works for you means you don't ever feel, oh my God, ये फिर से करना पड़ेगा. You do it naturally. Naturally. And you will see every single one of you will then have a different way of doing the same thing. That is when you are truly disciplined for what you want to do. And this is a gift you will give yourself. Give yourself the gift of discipline. Not by forcing yourself, instead by figuring what works for you. For example, a lot of people, and including me, when I was young, and all of you, did not know that there are multiple ways of consuming content that you absorb well. You could absorb content very well by listening. You could absorb well by reading. You could absorb well by watching. You could absorb well by doing. And all these four are very different. That means कि कोई अपने कोर्स को एक ऑडियो फॉर्मेट में कंज्यूम कर रहा है, कोई अपने कोर्स को टेक्स्ट बुक से कंज्यूम कर रहा है, कोई अपने कोर्स को वीडियो से कंज्यूम कर रहा है, एंड कोई अपने कोर्स को प्रैक्टिकली कंज्यूम कर रहा है. And each one of them works differently for different people. I'm sure you don't know what your dominant way of absorbing content and information is. Because what is the default? Textbook, पढ़ लिया. Or maybe in today's world, you straight away go to YouTube, start consuming it in a video format and think that that's the way of doing it. Or You feel, no, I'll just listen to the teacher say out whatever and they'll do it. Or I don't know if your parents do it, but my parents certainly used to be like, oh, the best way of memorizing is when you're reading, read aloud. क्योंकि उससे ना कुछ तारे हिल जाती हैं and फिर वो जड़ जाता है and you don't forget it till the day of the examination. उसके बाद of course you forget everything the second the examination is over. What they were describing was just one form of information absorption. They're not wrong, because that is a form of information absorption, but that's not the only form. During that time, there was no way of absorbing information by watching. There used to be this medium called Doordarshan. I don't know how many of you even know what I'm talking about. And वहाँ कभी-कभी कुछ आते थे program which used to be boring, but the only way, and there was no way of listening except the teacher, and doing to dur tak nahi tha. There was only something called practical where people just used to chill. So there's no concept of understanding what could be a true learning form. You now do, and you should discover that journey. Figure out कि same content अगर मैं सुनती हूँ, देखती हूँ, करती हूँ, how does it land well on me? Because that will then tell you what works for you. And then your discipline will be, you know what? I'm not going to follow what everyone else is following. I'm going to follow what works for me. मेरे पढ़ने का तरीका, सीखने का तरीका, absorb करने का तरीका, वो होगा. And that is why I will do it every single day without caring what the world thinks or if they do it differently. So number 2, find your discipline. And then finally, number 3. And this may seem like not important at this point of time, but trust me, the day you step out of school, you'll realize this is possibly the only thing that will help you in life. How many of you here have a best friend? A friend that you can truly rely on? Ek best friend. Okay, so 50-60% of you do. How many of you here would want a best friend? You want a best friend. Nobody else wants a best friend? No, even if you have it, you want it, right? So, how many of you want a best friend? What do the others want? What do you want? I'm just curious. Do you want a best friend or nahi? I'm okay. Yeah? Wow. When things are somewhat tough, when you are confused, when you don't know what to do, who do you rely on? Who do you speak to? Who do you discuss things with? Your parents? Great. Are your parents like your parents or your friends? They're your friends? Okay. That is a very dangerous thing to be. Very dangerous. वो जो माँ बाप बोलते हैं ना कि हम तुम्हारे दोस्त हैं, बड़े dangerous होता है. And I don't, of course, I mean, full respect to your parents, but I think parents should be parents. I have this feeling. Because the minute parents become friends, then you're like, फिर मेरे parents कौन है? Because everybody can have a friend, but not everybody can have a parent. We have only 2 sets of parents. And for now, like when you get married, you'll have 4 sets of parents. But they should be your parents. This is, by the way, one thing that people are never taught. We're always, in some way or the other, taught how to make friends. But nobody teaches us how to lose friends. And not how to lose friends as in, I want to lose this friend. But how do you deal with the loss of a friend? Not an actual loss, but the fact that they're not friends anymore. We just drifted apart. Or maybe they just ghosted us one day. And suddenly we were friendless. And we thought that we were going to be there forever. But no. They moved on. They got their own friends. And now we see them on Instagram and we're stalking them. But we're not really stalking them. And we're jealous, but we don't want to feel jealous. And we're just very split with our emotions. Ki kaise behave karna hai? Should we be happy for them? Should we be sad for ourselves? Or should we be happy for ourselves? It's just very, very confusing. And especially when you're dealing it for the first time or in your early years, you don't know how to deal with this. I'll come to this point though. Great challenge that people don't stay forever. And that's not a realization she's had. It's a realization we all have. People don't stay forever. They may stay physically in the world, but they may not be with us as a relationship. Then you go about seeking the help of others, but you don't really know whether that information is right or wrong, or you can trust them or not. You seek your own family, and because it's family, it becomes very hard at some point of time, if you haven't faced it already, that if you don't want to accept their suggestions or their recommendations, they don't take it very well. They feel that it's a personal attack. ऐसे कैसे? हम तुम्हारे माँ बाप हैं, हम तुम्हारे बारे में अच्छा नहीं सोचेंगे, कौन कुछ सोचेगा? वो सड़क पे. Like, and then they get all emotional and shit, and no, then it doesn't help. Like, parents getting emotional is that's a whole new summer school, huh? Which you should have, for sure. How do you deal with emotional parents, or parents who get emotional, but they say that they're not? But there is one person who will never leave you. One person that is going to be there forever. And that is you yourself. But unfortunately, we are never taught to become our own best friend. If you really think about it, what is the definition of a friend? A friend is somebody who knows you very well, who can guide you very well. Also somebody who doesn't judge you. Be like, fail ho gaya, bola tha. You were never capable, tu hamisha se kara hi tha. Tujse to hona hi nahi tha kabhi. So, not that person. The person who encourages you. The person who's also very objective and doesn't lie to you. It's not like, nahi, bro. Wo maan jayegi. She's in your league. No. He's very practical. Right? So he gives you very clear advice. No. Out of your league, maybe not now. You have to up your game. She's certainly not going to down her game. Somebody who's very clearly giving you sound advice. At the same time, you don't have to feel the pressure to be always connected. That if you don't check on them every day, they may not be there for you. Or if they don't check on you, you suddenly feel that they're not there for you. So there's this nice, happy boundary that's created. There is space, but there is also longing, and there's certainly respect. If you really think about it, one person who can qualify all of these and check is you yourself. You yourself. You know your strengths and weaknesses in and out. You know all of your secrets. You know all of your desires. You know all of the things that stop you, all of the things that you want to change in you, all of the things that you know you're getting good at. You know exactly what you want to do. You know how you want to do it. You can encourage yourself. It's fascinating. Think about it this way. If any one of you watches a sport, mostly an individual sport, say a tennis, badminton, or even for that matter, a group sport like a football or cricket, very often you will find the sports people or athletes saying, come on, you can do it. Who are they speaking to? Who are they speaking to? Are they speaking to themselves? But if they're speaking to themselves, then who is the one who is speaking? Why are they speaking to themselves? It's almost as if there are two people, one who doesn't want to come on and one who wants to come on or should be told to come on. And it's this beautiful conversation that's happening between two people as if they're two different people inside the same body. But that's exactly how we can be. We can stand in front of the mirror and say, yes, you can do it, Ankur. You can. Or stand in front of the mirror and be like, that was bullshit. That was so bad. There was no way you could have made it. You just didn't put enough effort. Wake up and smell the coffee, bro. It's not going to happen by this much. This is your competition. This is where you are. We need to wake up. All of this can happen at our end. But here's the biggest challenge. You have no idea as a generation of what it is to spend time with yourself. You have no idea what it is. Because you're constantly triggered by external stimuli. It's either your phone, or it's people, or it's an experience like this, or it's something or the other which is constantly keeping you engaged. You don't even know what it is to get bored. Because the second you start feeling bored, you need some dopamine shot to get you back into the rhythm. So Instagram Reels, and of course Snap, and of course Discord, and of course anything else that you fancy. And you get addicted. So the third thing, which came to us by virtue of the world we were living in, not because we were very grand people and we knew our stuff and we were better than you. Nah, it was only because we didn't have all the distraction that you all have. So we weren't as distracted as all of you are. We had time with ourselves. There were hours that our parents just left us saying, we don't care what you do with your time. We're busy. And there was no iPad. There was no laptop. There was no phone. There was no television. There was nothing. It was just us. And we were just figuring our things out. We were dreaming. We were trying to figure out things. We were writing something down. We were making random plans for our life. We were coming up with business plans for stupid things that we felt would become billion-dollar businesses. We were making plans of buying houses and buying fancy cars when we make this much of money. But all of this was outside of the distraction that the world was providing us. And because of that, we began to spend time with ourselves. So here's the third thing that I would love for you to spend time with yourself. Without a book, without a phone, without music, without people, without a notebook, without anything, just with your thoughts. Just with your thoughts. And if you were to do that for 5 or 10 minutes every day, you will begin to understand yourself in a way that you need to. You need to. Because if you don't, the world will keep telling you what you should do. And you'll never know whether that works for you or not. Only when you truly know yourself do you not get triggered. Here's an example. If I were to tell you, what's your name? Ankit. If I were to tell you, Ankit, your yellow hair looks awful on you, would you feel anything? No. And why is that? Well, more importantly, because you don't have yellow hair. But I love the answer because I've dealt with it multiple times. Like, he came as a warrior. Ankit, the warrior. He doesn't have yellow hair, so you would not take offense at that. But if I were to go and again use, and I'm only using Ankit as an example, I don't know him from before. I'm meeting him, say, after 3 months or 6 months. And I'm like, Ankit, mota ho gaya kya? And suddenly a part of Ankit may feel triggered. Because he knows that in the last 6 months, उसने थोड़ा मीठा ज़्यादा खा लिया है. थोड़ी शादियाँ ज़्यादा थी. He had these long hours. He binged eat while getting somewhat stressed or anxious for his exams or whatnot. So part of him is like, क्या सच है? Is it really true I put on weight? I haven't even measured myself. So I'm not sure. Is it really looking like, is my face swollen? There'll be some part of him that will get triggered. But if he knew concretely of whether he has put on weight or not, or whether he has slipped on his diet or not, or anything like that, there would be no part of him that will be offended because he knows that as a fact. We would never get offended at the truth. We'll only get offended if we thought that was not the truth, but we think it's coming across as that. So somebody says, oh my God, you're so competitive. And we suddenly take offense to that because we're not sure if our actions came across as competitive or not. And we don't want to come across as this evil person who would do anything to win. But that is only because you don't truly understand yourself. But if you want to sit down with yourself, sit down in a way that you really want to know yourself, you will know the truth about yourself. It's not going to come on day one, but it will come over time. And when it does, nobody can touch you. If you truly know yourself, nobody can touch you. And that is the best place to be in life. Because when you're truly free of people's judgments, you do what is right for you. When you are not aware of who you are, you will do what makes you look good in front of others. You will always do what makes you look good in front of others. That I wish somebody told me. Because I lived my life for a really long time trying to please others, trying to come across as the best person in front of others people. Best friend, best son, best brother, best student, best this, best that. And that's because I didn't know what I truly wanted. And when I truly got to know what I wanted, the world vanished. It was just me. I was just so clear of what I wanted to do. I didn't know whether that was the right thing to do, but I was very clear that that is what I wanted to do. And if I'm here standing in front of you and you would give me the respect of your time and your attention, it's simply because in me, you see somebody who's very clear of what he wants to do in life, irrespective of whether I win or not. I don't care. At the end of it, we will all be dead. You much later than I am, but we're all dead in the long run. What matters is what happens in between our birth and death. And you don't want to be living that life, someone else's life. Very quickly, these three things. Spending time with people who are nothing like you so that it broadens your horizon. Do it in a manner that you know what works for you and do it repeatedly. Is true discipline. And become your own best friend. When you do these three things, you've set in motion what will hold you in good faith your entire life. It doesn't matter iske baad aap engineer bano, lawyer bano, journalist bano, ya freelance karo, ya farmer bano, ya kuch bhi aur. What will matter is that you will live life on your own terms in a manner that you're constantly aware of who you are, what you want from life, what works for you, and what are the possibilities in front of you. And that will be when you have truly lived a life worth living. Thank you so much.